From Pechanga Arena, San Diego, a busy MASL weekend wraps up with a semi-final rematch. It's the Chihuahua Savage and the San Diego Sockers locking boots for the first time in 2024. A very pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Tony Sanchez, Craig Elston on hand with you, along with our TVX video crew. It's the Sockers and Savage. There's not too much you need to say about this one, Tony. We all know it. Chihuahua eliminated San Diego last year on this floor, in the knockout game, in overtime. And this game's been circled on the schedule ever since it came out.
A silence from the crowd that was broken with a catharsis of emotion from the Savage players who knew what that meant to beat the San Diego Sockers on this field. It's going to be a potential grudge match, and these players are going to be ready to go right now.
Chihuahua rested and ready. They've been hanging out in San Diego waiting for this one. The Sockers, meanwhile, literally just got back from the airport about a couple of hours ago. Sockers played in Tacoma last night, got it out, a 6-5 win shorthanded. Gabriel Costa leading the way, goal and 2 assists.
Gabriel Costa has been absolutely crucial this season for the San Diego Sockers and showing his worth after coming over from Empire, but that travel schedule is absolutely brutal. We're going to see what the energy is like for the San Diego Sockers as they face the reigning defending champions.
However, the Savage have lost 4 matches in a row. They've changed their head coach. One thing hasn't changed, their leading scorer, La Roca. It's Hugo Puentes, and he's the guy they're going to be counting on again.
Absolutely. 5 goals, 3 assists this season. La Roca Puentes has been one of the most important players for Savage in their history here, especially with what they did last season. I'm pretty sure they want to go ahead and do a repeat on Pechanga Arena's field.
Just a taste of the storylines to come. Melissa May is on the other side with an injury report, and then we've got the opening kickoff. It's the Sockers and Savage. Glad to have you with us on Twitch.
Here at Front Wave, our members are built different. They don't just talk of success. They roll up their sleeves and get it done. And with serious value on banking, lending, saving, planning, Front Wave is right there with you. So dream big. We got you.
Califino Tequila. Treat yourself to the finer things in life.
A delightful way to get this evening's live broadcast underway. It's the Sockers and the Chihuahua Savage live from Pechanga Arena, San Diego. We greet you from the top row of the north side of the terrace section at Pechanga Arena. Alongside Tony Sanchez, Craig Elston here with you, our TVX Sports Video crew. And let's go downstairs and welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, our field reporter, Melissa May.
The Sockers rested 5 players in their game last night against Tacoma, and that gamble paid off. The team was still able to get a 6-5 win over Tacoma. One of those players that didn't make the trip to Tacoma that's in the lineup tonight is Captain Craig Childs. Keep an eye out for Childs tonight because he is on the hunt for his 400th MASL career point. Out of all the players that didn't make the trip, only Leonardo de Oliveira is still out of the lineup. And as you know, 2 games in less than 24 hours in 2 different states is always a challenge, and this is the Sockers' 3rd time doing that, and they had quite a snowy adventure getting back to Pechanga Arena for tonight's game. So even though the Chihuahua Savage have lost 4 in a row, they do have a slight advantage over the Sockers, and that's rest. We'll see what happens tonight. Craig, Tony, back to you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. We'll check in with you at halftime to chat with head coach Phil Silvaggio, and of course after the match as well. There you see Craig Childs warming up. Any goal or assist will get him to 400 career points in the MASL. But let's focus on the visitors for a moment, because there has been a change in Martinez, and he's on the bench right now. Janoni Martinez, who was not on the field during warm-ups, was invisible to all of us, but the new head coach of Chihuahua Savage, and he is a name, Tony, that is extremely well known to anybody who has followed the indoor game, particularly north of the border. There you see him in the lovely cobalt jacket there. 2014-15 champion as a player with Monterrey, the Monterrey Flash, very well known for playing in Monterrey. 549 games, 483 goals, 462 assists. He retired as a player in 2019. He was the player head coach of the Rio Grande Valley Barracudas. He has been off the floor for 5 years, but Tony, after 4 straight losses, Everardo Sanchez was not fired. He was demoted from head coach to assistant coach, and now the new Jefe de los Jefes is Janoni Martinez.
Absolutely, and that's going to be an interesting dynamic just in the way that it unraveled here very recently, as you were mentioning. We did not see him during pre-match warm-ups, now making the appearance for the reigning defending Chihuahua Savage. Hola, ¿qué tal a todos nuestros amigos que nos están viendo por sintonía in Mexico? But that's something that's going to be incredibly important to see, because there's also a couple of other faces that haven't made those appearances for Chihuahua on this roster. But el jefe de jefes now taking charge for Chihuahua Savage.
More changes for Chihuahua. Announced literally just before the game, the signing of Diego Reynoso, the longtime well-known Mexican indoor goalkeeper, previously of Monterrey. Played for Monterrey, before that Soles de Sonora, before that Monterrey again. Starting goalkeeper of the 2015-2019 World Cups, 2023 World Cup for Mexico. He's in net today. So a different look for Chihuahua. We'll detail it more as we continue, but it's a different team than the one that we saw here winning in the semifinal. 15 minutes are on the clock. Chihuahua in their familiar red with the black panther claws across the chest, the black shorts, the black socks. They're running left to right in this first quarter, and the Sockers all in blue. They will go right to left. Sockers and Savage underway, the 11th and final match of Week 8 of the MASL, and we're glad to have you with us on twitch.tv, channel MASL Soccer 3. We're over on L3 because Monterrey is taking a little extra long in pummeling Kansas City tonight. So we'll have that and all the rest of the scores as we continue on. There's Cesar Serra, one of the players who was held out last night, along with Mitchell Cardenas. Really, your starting defensive backfield was not taken on the trip to Tacoma. Some injury concerns for those boys, and Leonardo de Oliveira winds up being the only one who's actually out of the lineup tonight. Boris Pardo really battled illness all week. Tony sick as a dog. And how about the work of Xavier Snare-Williams last night picking up the dub in Tacoma?
Absolutely. X doing a fantastic job up there in Tacoma in that 6-5 victory from the Sockers. And really, it's something that we've been asking of X is exactly that, being that backup that people can trust here in the San Diego Sockers organization, not only having some stellar saves, but also contributing with an assist. Very important assist last night.
There's Enrique Cañez, another player not listed on the travel roster for Chihuahua, and then he ran out of the tunnel, so okay, Kiki's here. Let's play. Some of that gamesmanship and chicanery that we see all the time when these clubs get together. Take a look at that number out there, number 317. That's Pedro Castañeda out of Juarez. Chihuahua trying to figure out their form right now. Drew Ruggles intercepted a pass, was able to punch it forward, but Arturo Valle, another player on last year's championship team, had not been playing for Chihuahua, but he is in the lineup today. So the Savage makes several changes, losing 4 in a row to Monterrey. Clearly the incentive for seismic change within the Savage organization, and they are in the heart of what's got to be one of the toughest schedules in the MASL this year. Down into the corner. Savage trying to get to work down there. It's Miguel Angel Diaz, sends it out the left. Footer Escalante just missed wide. Good bid for number 1 there from the captain of the Savage. Now Cardenas trying to get out of hot water. Ruggles smooth with players all around him. Gets the ball north and Costa lets it do the work. Here comes Gabriel Costa. Costa with a goal and 2 assists last night. Gets run off the ball. Bouncing in the corner to try and get it back. Wins it back without a foul. Charlie Gonzalez to Drew Ruggles. Ruggles stepping in and leaves it off for the second-year man out of Rio. Gabriel Costa.
Showing that speed there, Gabriel Costa down the boards. Playing some patty cake and showing that he's not necessarily a pushover. He has that strength and low center of gravity.
There's the futsal master, Charlie Gonzalez, wore the captain's armband Thursday up in Anaheim when the Sockers beat the Strikers 5-4 in the MASL Pro Indoor Cup futsal exhibition. We'll talk more about that as the night wears on. We're just getting underway here. We've had a full weekend of MASL action. Hopefully we're your final resting place here for the weekend. We thank you so much for your patronage. Charlie Gonzalez now sending it to the captain, sitting on 399 points in the MASL, 688 in his overall career. Craig Giles. Soccer's played for 5 years in the Professional Arena Soccer League, I should say 6, from 2009 to 2014. This one bounces over, and there's Reynoso. Always calm, always collected. The left-hander, left footer as well. Distributes with the right that time. Pino called for a foul, barreling over somebody at midfield. Looks like La Roca, Hugo Puentes. Took a hit, keeps on ticking.
Yeah, we see here some contact on the lower side of La Pantorrilla and some gamesmanship as well from the San Diego Sockers as we have a ball change. Not happy with the PSI of that ball that was interchanged. But again, Reynoso coming into this squad of the Chihuahua Savage is something that is interesting because for a goalkeeper, it's not necessarily the most important to have the best chemistry with the rest of your team. You're there as a shot stopper. You can have an amazing game and not necessarily be completely clicked in with the rest of the team.
That's a great point. Plug and play.
Absolutely.
For Diego Reynoso. The Major Arena Soccer League, proud to welcome you to MASL Soccer on Twitch. Send us a message in the chat. We might just read it live on the air during tonight's broadcast. There's a steal by Carlos Popper Hernandez, the playoff hero of the Savage. Number 77 sends the distribution in down low, off the wall, looking for Puentes. Puentes tried to sell a foul in the box and then almost got the ball back courtesy of the Sockers. Costa now gives it away to Hernandez, and the Savage get it back on their toe. Working through the 5th minute of the first quarter. Crowd has settled in here at Pechanga Arena, San Diego. Nice crowd here on the north side. South side starting to get bigger as well. The so-called TV side. As Escalante directs traffic from defensive midfield. Looks like he's asking questions. Where should I go? The answer is over to Jorge Leal, young defender in his second year out of Tijuana.
And just some of the ambient sounds.
Centering shot, high.
Is you hear portero, portero, and that's literally the name that you give the goalkeeper when you're not necessarily familiar with them. Really want to get that flow going and get that ball all the way back. And both teams really testing each other out a little bit, just kind of looking at the murky waters. Not a lot of danger. Hopefully those decibels pick up here soon.
Cesar Cerda working the Kendis match ball moving forward. Kendis, official supplier of MASL match balls. MASL proud to partner with an American company to provide all match balls this season. 9.5 to go in the first. Here is a counterattack that's on. Looks like Flaco, yeah. Canez, pardon me. Very small numbers on the front of the Chihuahua jerseys. We're a little bit at the shorts, I should say. We're at the mercy of them turning their back on us a little bit. But there is a man very familiar, formerly of Hermosillo, Solis de Sonora, Enrique Canez. And each of the 3 seasons with the Savage as well. Down to the area code player, Enrique, number 317, Castaneda. Can I just call him area code? Is that okay?
I think that's fine. El código postal. I think código would be a good good one in Spanish
Código?
too.
Código? I like that. Código. 837. Is it 3-digit area codes in Mexico?
Yes.
Okay.
664 Tijuana.
We have a whistle up top. It's just a little quick talking to.
Yeah, a little quick check in there, making sure that everything is above water. We've seen Drew Ruggles be Drew Ruggles and, you know, have that tenacity. And sometimes that doesn't really rub the best against their opponents. And fair warning here to begin the game.
Shane Butler's the director of this officiating crew. 2-man crew out on the floor today. The experimental 3-man crew, guess that just comes and goes. Here's a ball tipped to the top of the D and taken away by Chihuahua. El Código, Castaneda. Back to Reynoso, he's outside his area, has to distribute and just punts the left foot into the corner. And Chihuahua happy to change. And this one has the lackluster feel of a team that just arrived at Lindbergh Field around 12:45 this afternoon from Tacoma.
And this is the second instance where the Sockers have had that long travel, that back-to-back we saw a couple weeks earlier with 8 quarters in 24 hours. They are victorious, bringing back 6 points, but this is a different beast altogether, especially with the weather that was happening up in Tacoma.
Charlie Gonzalez getting hounded. Again, only game of the week for Chihuahua. This is the 3rd game, counting the futsal match for San Diego. And the Sockers did use some regulars in that exhibition. Now here's a give and go, and it's Pino making the run in. Ruggles tried to send him the ball. Morgan now sends it back the other direction. Cross to the north wall. Again, a balloon put up. Looking for Morgan. Morgan dropped to a knee. Foul called. Free kick coming for San Diego.
And usually those are the instances where Morgan doesn't necessarily get a call, but he puts his body in there. There was a little bit too much contact, as we'll see right there around the hip area. It's going to leave a mark, but hopefully going to go ahead and translate into some positive points for the Sockers here.
Could this be the round number? Giles to Charlie, kicked away by Escalante. And a foul called on the Sockers in the crease. Escalante with the blocked shot, his 15th of the season. He leads the club by far and really is the engine of this Chihuahua team. Left footer, dangerous from the back and very strong with his feet.
Absolutely, and that's exactly why you go ahead and put your defender there, just in case that window of the goal is completely open and vulnerable to a sniper like the San Diego Sockers have. Couple of them actually on the roster. Good defensive positioning there.
Under 7 minutes to go in the first quarter. Next ball out of play. And this could be it. Will not be it. Will be our media timeout. Pee Wee Ortega being hounded in the Sockers defensive coordinator by a double team. Trying to come out of there with it was Chihuahua, and really well done by Costa. Just to pop it out. Jose Gilberto Lopez was on attack there for Chihuahua. Wearing the number 14 that used to be worn by Uriel Zuart last year. Zuart now with Monterrey. Monterrey perfect on the season. Soccer's just trying to keep pace.
Yeah, it's very impressive what's happening over in Monterrey. Mexico ahorita está muy fuerte. They are incredibly strong because of what's happening in Monterrey and the flash.
Reynoso didn't want to take any chances on that long distribution from Mitchell Cardenas. He's kicked it into the corner. It's over to Serta now. Cesar makes a run. Costa can't get him the ball. He's got the overlap from Felipe now. Threads it through, trying to thread the needle. Reynoso rims it around the corner. Nice touch by Puentes to spring a counterattack. However, it goes nowhere. Miguel Angel Diaz had an eye on the near wall and to get off onto the bench. 5.5 now to go in the first quarter. A very tentative quarter so far. Here's another new Savage, wasn't even listed on their travel list today. That is number 95, Cleberson Rodriguez, a futsal professional out of Brazil who's making his debut tonight for Chihuahua. He wears number 95. He has a very unusual hairdo, and you'll see him up top.
Absolutely, him being part of the Foot 7 in the Liga do Brasil has many accolades in that league, and so we look to have a timeout here on the floor.
Let's take our first break. Just getting settled in. We're glad you're here with us for Chihuahua and San Diego. You're watching the Major Arena Soccer League on Twitch.
Here at Front Wave, our members are built different. They don't just talk of success. They roll up their sleeves and get it done. And with serious value on banking, lending, saving, planning, Front Wave is right there with you. So dream big. We got you.
Califino Tequila. Treat yourself to the fino feelings in life.
No scores, Soccer's and Chihuahua Savage. The Savage, the defending MASL Ron Newman Cup champions, defeated San Diego in 3 matches last year. But what a change to the roster. Several players gone in a flash, leaving Chihuahua for Monterrey. Edgar Torres Gonzalez, Eric Yon Ponce, of course El Sargento, Berna Valdivinos, the leader behind the net, and that wasn't it. Uriel Zuart, and of course head coach Luis Jaime Borrego, who left Chihuahua midway through last season, takes over once again as Monterrey's director técnico. And really that's not all, Tony. In total, I went back and looked at the roster board from Game 2 of the Ron Newman Cup Finals against Baltimore. 7 different starters from that unit not on the floor tonight for Chihuahua. The number was actually up to 9 walking in, and then Arturo Valle and Enrique Cañas showed up, who weren't on the travel roster earlier today. But still, 7 players out of that championship side. Clearly, with them going to Monterrey, it's tipped the balance of power somewhat, Sur de la Frontera.
Yeah, and especially with the firepower that Chihuahua came in, this team is almost these two teams have Clásico de Clásico type rivalries, where if you saw Chihuahua versus San Diego Soccer's match, you knew it was going to be must-see TV for many reasons. Whether it's here, whether it's in Chihuahua, it's one of those exciting matches that this league has. But it's going to be interesting to see how it works out with these new rosters.
Pauper tried to feed the new Brazilian Cleberson. Ball got knocked away. Now it's coming back to him. Pauper Hernandez with under 5 to go in the first quarter. Cleberson Rodriguez. Pauper across. Possession to the Savage for sure. Escalante and Pauper. The ball at their toe, and with rest on their side, Chihuahua's really getting some work done here. Like early body blows in a heavyweight match.
Chihuahua not really taking it to the Sockers, who might not be as rested as they'd ideally want. So this might be a time for Chihuahua to really put the pedal to the metal, but they're being patient with the ball.
Pino reading the pass intended for Cleberson. Big boy trying to maintain possession. And then a foul called on Chihuahua. Drawn by Juan Gonzalez, who says that ball, I got it up to the face. Let's see. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe un rasguño, a couple fingers on that moneymaker, but either way, it still counts as a foul. Still kind of complaining about it a little bit. We didn't feel it.
Not enough, as we see a potential for concern. Sean Callahan, number 18, had to ease himself onto the bench to be examined by athletic trainer Paul Savage. Callie played last night, one of the guys up in Tacoma. Of course, most of the team you see out there played last night in Tacoma, with 4 exceptions. Morgan trying to turn to that right foot, he did, and Reynoso comes up with a punch save.
Reynoso doing very well there, positioning himself, knowing that Morgan's going to go ahead and turn around as Tavoy gets called for a foul right there.
He's bummed because he would have triggered a counter the other way with Drew Ruggles. Good turn here by Tavoy. That's how he scored his first last time.
Vintage Tavoy Morgan.
Let's put it at the hands. Puentes. In the corner, Hugo Puentes. Back out. This is Lopez. Down into the corner. 3:20 left in a quiet first quarter at Pechanga Arena. Escalante. Out to the wing and back to Lopez. Ruggles trying to jump him for a steal. Charlie was eager to join the fun, but it's back to Reynoso, and the Sockers are back to defending. Into the corner, looking for Puentes once again. Cardenas interrupted the wall pass. Back to Puentes. Working through the right corner. Plays the ball out. Escalante. Escalante, a collision. Foul's called on Escoto down there.
A bit of an obstruction there. Escoto letting the ball pass, but that's the rule. Either the ball passes, but the defender doesn't. A body check there. And this is some of the San Diego Sockers play that we've come to know and love. Sometimes they defend early in the first quarter and are very patient, but Chihuahua still trying to figure themselves out in a way that it's almost like a restructure mid-season. New coach, new players, new people, new everything coming in. It's kind of difficult to have an identity on the first match.
This is also Chihuahua's first regulation field match this year. They've played all 6 of their previous matches in Mexico, which means they've either been at Corner Sport Arena or Arena Borregos, which are both miniature size. Here's some space for Charlie. The run is over to Childs on the right wing, off the wall. Charlie flicks it. Ruggles looks for it on the doorstep and is denied. Back to Childs, stepping in. Has the ball slide tackled away from him. Well done by Medrano. Costa runs interference. And Charlie's down. And play on as the Savage bench erupted angrily for what they thought was salesmanship by Charlie.
Ruggles charging a receipt right there. Referees seem to want to let them play, to the disapproval of both benches here and there, but
here's the chance. Would have been special if it could have found its way into the net from Drew. Another foul here. That's Puentes, and as the physicality goes up, I mean, we've seen these matches so many times before, Tony. There will be a testing procedure from these players. What will be cardable and what won't be, plus going to ground to sell fouls, is a huge part of the culture of what we're going to see in this match.
And it's always said that the name in front of the jersey is more important than the one on the back. And let me tell you, there's a lot of names that were here that were eliminated by Chihuahua and have that stinging memory that they want to go ahead and start the right course on and start to clean up a little bit. Even though Chihuahua might have new faces, they're still.
This is interesting. As we watch the replay here of Charlie, and I mean, yeah, he just went down, lost his balance, but during this medical break, Giannone has brought his entire team over with a whiteboard, and he's right in the process of drawing a play for a set piece. The Sockers players, by contrast, are loitering around in their defensive zone. Boris offering a little bit of discussion, tactics, Giannone, meanwhile, has got a full-on whiteboard session going. So, talk about a contrast in styles, Tony. We're seeing it right now. Hey, MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League, all the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Check it out, MASLsoccer.com. Find out the latest on your San Diego Sockers at SDSockers.com. And if you're looking for some merch, go to MASLsoccer.com and click on the Shop tab. Browse all of our team's online stores. Pick up your new favorite camisa. Boris has that look.
It's locked in. He knows exactly what happened in that huddle. Something that happened after the timeout also came. After we came back after that timeout was exactly that. A huddle that lasted a little bit longer. Referee had to come over and break it up. Yeah. It's those tactics that are getting learned, getting instilled. I'm sure they'll have plenty of time during the week to fine-tune those.
Popper, back heel, Escalante trying to refeed Popper in the corner. It's taken off the ball by Felipe. Now Felipe's down and whistle sounds. Players are going to be going to ground all night long. Get used to it, gang. Might as well not complain about it because it's just going to keep happening. Here's Tavoy. Tavoy got held a little bit, and there is the call from across the floor. Enough common fouls get called, we'll get into foul trouble eventually.
And that's exactly where Tavoy loves to be, backing himself up with a back to the goal in order to turn around and lay it off or take a shot himself. But it does look like the attack for the San Diego Sockers is a little bit isolated. Either Gabriel Costa is trying to make some magic between two or three players. We have a set piece here.
Charlie runs in. Giles to the top. Escoto had to settle the ball, and then a bad pass. And that blows up the set piece. Escoto's challenged by Leal. Goes down, and the whistle sounds.
Yeah, you're going to get a call every time you get smothered against those boards.
Quick restart, and Escoto gets the ball to Morgan. He's got Charlie with him. There's the overlap, the give and go, looking back for Morgan. Well defended by Chihuahua. It's Costa trying to get a reset there. Kleberson falls off the ball. And we reach the 15th minute. Cardenas. Is that ball headed down by Valle into the waiting grip of Diego Reynoso. He's been playing the indoor game all the way back to when Monterrey was in MISL. Not the original, MISL 2 or 3. Nonetheless, he's been around. He's been around since he was a kid. He's only, let's see, 35. So still years to go for Diego Reynoso.
That gives younglings like us a hope sometimes that it's still possible, right, Craig?
Sure. I mean, not for me, but maybe you. Cañez at the shield over to Código Postal. Lost it to Costa, but he gave it away! Just wide! Valle couldn't put that on frame. Costa with a nightmare turnover right there. Best offensive play Chihuahua's seen in the half. And that's the end of the first quarter. And a fitful, furtive quarter it was. Nobody scored. Sockers shut out in the first and third quarters last night. Shut out in the first quarter tonight. What does the second quarter have to offer? We'll find out after this timeout. Second quarter run from San Diego is next. No score between the Sockers and the Savage. The winners of the last 3 Ron Newman Cups going head-to-head on Twitch.
Yeah, thanks, for sure, I'll be there. Hey, wait, hold on. I'm running by the field right now. You're never gonna guess. Dude, Medina's here. I think he's trading for a comeback to the Sockers.
What are you talking about? Medina? He retired 2 years ago. He's too old, bro.
Oh, dude. You're right, bro. He's too old. Okay, so that barbecue, yeah.
Don't wait for the pain. Call your Cairo today.
Dr. Corey's office, how can we help you?
I got this. Let's get him in.
Okay, sounds good, Mr. Medina. We'll see you shortly.
video crew.
Here at Front Wave, our members are built different. They don't just talk of success. They roll up their sleeves and get it done. And with serious value on banking, lending, saving, planning, Front Wave is right there with you. So dream big. We got you.
Catch MASL Monday every Monday night exclusively on Twitch. Alex Bastiavansky and Phil Levanko recap the weekend's matches and discuss the league's hot topics. Right there on channel MASL Soccer. It's MASL Monday every Monday night. You can catch the replay on Twitch or on the Major Arena Soccer League YouTube channel. Welcome back. Sockers and Savage scoreless after 15 minutes. Craig Elston, Tony Sanchez, Melissa May, our TVX Sports video crew here with you from Pechanga Arena. Sockers in the midst of a out-of-nowhere busy schedule. It's been rest, wait, now hang on, we got a quick attempt right off of the opening kickoff. Childs shoveled it forward to Felipe Gonzalez, whose shot was wide. Here comes La Roca, Hugo Puentes, leading scorer for the Flash last year and this year. He's down and drawing the foul. That's the 7th team foul against San Diego to 5 for Chihuahua in the first quarter. No cards yet. Guerrero Pino has 2 fouls for San Diego. Leal and Valle have 2 fouls each for Chihuahua. Popper's shot blocked by Escoto. All the way in, and it bounces off Janoni Martinez.
Popper right there asking for some space between him and La Barrera, but you got to ask for that space. And if you shoot, they can be right in front of the ball. That's what the referee was telling him right there.
Possession dominated by Chihuahua in the first quarter, but shots were just 3-2 in favor of San Diego. Sockers blocked both shots. Here's one that Pardo was afraid to see skitter into the net. Bounces off of the near wall, and then it gyroscoped away from the goal line.
Nightmare field, but that's still part of being in the apt position where you need to be in order to block those angles and the ball ricocheting into the net. Good job there by Puebla.
Morgan tried for a one-touch feed to the top of the zone. There was no one there for San Diego. Guerrero Pino trying to run down a loose ball. He's going to give it away to Leal. Leal now over to Lopez. Ball spits out. Diaz has it. Threads a pass along the north wall. And the Savage definitely showing a lot of possession so far. Now here's a rush in, and dummying the ball was the Savage player who had the opportunity to shoot. Diaz turns, skipping shot is wide into the corner. Charlie trying to dig it out, a bouncing ball. Christian Gutierrez gets a boot on it, and then as Escoto tumbles, he absolutely draws a foul by putting his body into the Savage player and falling down.
Absolutely, but Chihuahua keeping San Diego on their toes.
Yeah.
A little bit of a leg sweep there.
And being nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a foul call. Brandon Escoto, Jodas, el actor. Okay, Savage trying to dig out. Sockers show a little bit of pressure. That pressure evaporates in an instant. Diaz smoothly cuts it out. And the Savage then lose a ball along the bench wall. Brandon Gonzalez just has to run it down wildly. Childs didn't want to chase that into the corner. Cardenas is happy to. Mitchell chips it along that south wall, and with the second minute in the second quarter gone, it's Diaz on attack. Really feels like Savage are going to get goal 1 here tonight. They've certainly earned it in terms of their time of possession. Sockers have barely touched the ball this evening.
San Diego's definitely being patient, like I said earlier, but it's one of the tactics that they're known for, and being able to exploit those mistakes when they do happen. But Chihuahua right now definitely look like the dangerous team.
Popper, he did it. There's the man. Popper Hernandez puts the goal in. It absolutely had to happen. 1-0 Chihuahua. And Popper, who had only scored 1, pardon me, of course not. It's his first goal of the year. He saves him for San Diego.
Absolutely. Popper, como siempre, you can always count on Hernandez to be able to do something special with that shot of his to the bottom right of Boris Pardo. sets up correctly. Se perfila con el lado derecho, tira. Boris Pardo cannot do a thing about that. 1-0, Chihuahua Savage taking it right now to the San Diego Sox. There's still a lot of game as Morgan's gonna get called for a shove against the boards right here.
And another foul, no card is out. Kleberson gets the assist, his first MASL point. As we review the foul, it's a foul, but then Escalante winds up crumpled. And unfortunate, his head may have contacted that yellow below the dasher area. He's holding his head as Janoni Martinez looks on. As we mentioned, the Sockers have been kind of out of nowhere too, because they were supposed to play last Sunday. A water main broke under Pechanga Arena and canceled last Sunday's match. However, Sockers are in the midst of playing 3 matches in 5 days right now. Last night in Tacoma, a flight that left 9:45 this morning out of SeaTac Airport and landed around 12:45. This is their second of 4 different interstate back-to-backs that the Sockers play, meaning playing in one state and then the next state playing in a different state, not of mine, an actual state of the Union. And it continues for the Sockers. They will be at Empire on Wednesday night. So tomorrow, a day of recovery for San Diego. No training on Tuesday. It'll be a gym day, a rest day, and then boom, right straight up to Empire. So almost an NBA-style schedule for the Sockers right now, Tony. No time to practice. Remember, there was a futsal exhibition on Thursday, so the Sockers had no practice that day. Friday, travel, no practice that day. And as Escalante is finally up, and we hope he is okay, the captain of the Savage, it's just the nature of the league. A lot of teams doing back-to-backs this weekend. Flash had a back-to-back, won both sides. Dallas had a back-to-back, Milwaukee, all over the place. We've seen the back-to-backs. I think it was last weekend, Milwaukee. We'll give you all the scores later on. It's the nature of one of these leagues that plays focused on the weekend, that you'll have these types of weekends, but boy, it is hard on the players, Tony. And if you think it's hard on the players, imagine the support staff.
No, it's definitely something to take into consideration. It takes a village, and it's one of the most wonderful things that people put their heart and soul into this to make this product what it is. Looking at the chat here on Twitch, thank you for joining us on the Twitch chat. S. Fellows was talking about exactly that a lot of teams also have complicated schedules, not necessarily bringing excuses, but I think it's bringing context to what we're seeing.
Off the soccer script frame. Yeah, I mean, it's a natural thing in the chat. There's always a little bit of a truculence in the chat. Everyone wants to be able to tell everyone what to say and how to say it. Our job as announcers is to give you the picture, the full context. So when we tell you what's going on with teams' travel, we're not making excuses for the team. The Sockers expect to win every match they play. They tactically sat players and didn't travel them yesterday, hoping to get 6 points out of the weekend. But you wouldn't know any of those things if we didn't share the information with you, the viewer. And we do strive to give you all the information, including, for example, 7 starters not on last year's championship team, brand new head coach for Chihuahua Savage, obvious change in tactics. Shane Butler's holding up his hands and blew a whistle. And that's that. Okay.
Yeah, look, they were looking for too many men on the field. Decided to wave that off. Now we will restart.
Just the right amount of men on the field. Correct number. Cardenas trying to get this one out of his zone. 1-0 Chihuahua on the Popper Hernandez goal at 2:41. Sockers getting blanked and frankly have shown barely a flutter so far tonight.
Not a lot of offensive prowess here from the Sockers. Got to give credit to Chihuahua, really playing their game as Morgan.
Steele Costa. Morgan sends the ball forward. Reynoso gave it back to Morgan, and he couldn't take a touch. If he had, he might have had a goal to equalize right there.
Yeah, the ball bounces back after he had just gotten up for some contact very difficult to set yourself up in order to put that ball straight ahead. Lean back a little bit too much, ball ends up in the netting. Chihuahua Savage con la pelota.
Reynoso brings it out, sends it forward. Off the wall, Pino fell down, but a foul is called on Puentes. The whistle's coming fast and furious from Shane Butler, but we have not seen una tarjeta, not even one.
Ni la tarjeta de elector. The electoral card in Mexico in order to vote. That's what you tell the referees.
I like that. Morgan gets danced off the ball by Escalante. Good to see Roberto right back out there. He's not too much worse for the wear. Puente sends it into the middle. This could be a great chance. Oh, Pardo comes up with the save of the night so far. He denies Medrano. Point blank on the scramble.
Great job by Pardo there. Miscalculation on the overhead pass by the defense for the Sockers, but Pardo, that's exactly why you have him there.
Whistle. Fresh ball.
Second time we see that today, actually.
All right, here it is. I mean, that shot got away. Great save by Pardo. Medrano did really well to get up and get his left boot on that. By all rights, 2-0. Pardo with a bonus save. Over to Leal, pressure coming from Charlie. And it's again, part of the reason we set up these dynamics for you, gang, is so you can understand the game flow without just reacting to it. Pardo grabs it. One team right now is faster, fresher, and in complete control. The other team is hanging on for dear life, and that's the team that's 6-0 against the 2-4 team. Well, why is it? You can make personal attacks or value judgments or recognize the situation, which in this case is one team that is beyond jet lagged. I mean, they don't even have the lactic acid out of their legs from the flight. And again, all teams have to deal with this at some point in the season. The Sockers happen to have to do it 4 times this year, which is a lot, but probably someone else has the same challenge somewhere else in the league. And every week somebody, as Giles just commits a careless foul, somebody has to deal with this all the time. Tonight, it's the Sockers' burden tonight.
Absolutely, and you can definitely tell the sharpest player on the Sockers tonight so far has been Boris Pardo, especially with that save right there. Even a small collection like he did off the wall with those reflexes is definitely something that is needed, because it's very difficult to just let that one squeeze on by.
Kleberson brings down the ball. The futsal star has his shot blocked by Cardinals. But the Savage have it back. This is as dominant a performance as I've seen against San Diego in quite some time. Everywhere but the scoreboard. This has been all Chihuahua. And this quarter actually much more than even last quarter. Giannone Martinez's first game as the new head coach. And boy, that's another one. You just talk about the history of sports, soccer, even other sports, as we get the Child steal. That first game, first match, coach's bump. You know, the little bounce a team has, new coach, new energy, new boss yelling at you. Everyone wants to impress. Everyone's making a first impression. Savage really have that kind of almost new car smell to them tonight. Car looks good coming out of the lot. Sockers look like a busted old jalopy. Can Morgan change it back to Serta? Blocked. Well blocked by Chihuahua.
That was very well read.
Serta digs out the steal. Cesar tried to cut it, missed his chance with Morgan. Flacco falls. Play on. Counter is on. Popper's on the run. Popper's on his right foot. Popper's shooting it. Right about at the spot where he hit the Golazo last year. Missed that one wide. If only you could have done that back on April 21st, Popper. And the foul will lead to a free kick for Chihuahua. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Follow MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram. On X, the handle is MASL Arena. Easy foul called on Tavoy there. Escalante. Shot blocked by Gutierrez. Headed by Pino to Escoto, but he's in a crowd. Brandon somehow drew another foul.
We really haven't seen those bursts of energy from players like Charlie or Escoto so far. And is that a matter of getting into the game, getting situated, really feeling exactly what the pace has been? Or maybe, again, it's that recovery period that's vital. Capitanes.
Deflected away. He was hoping to bound one to Felipe. There's been a lot of hope and dream in what's been going on so far. Of course, just one moment will change this entire match. But who will it be for? Escoto drawing fouls like he's Jaden Ledee for the Aztecs down in the paint. Chihuahua would be into the double bonus by now.
I love that pull, Craig.
6:08 left in the second quarter.
Ruggles giving it away there.
Lopez on the attack. Jose Gilberto Lopez shoots it wide. Second remate, way too high. And that leads us to the timeout. Sockers still getting shut out by a stern, saucy, savage side. 1-0 Chihuahua. You're watching the MASL on Twitch. Back with you, Sockers looking for answers in their huddle, trailing Chihuahua right now by a score of 1-0. Sockers and the Empire Strikers met inside the Anaheim Convention Center for the MASL Pro Indoor Cup, a futsal exhibition. Sockers beat Empire 5-4. Front of coaches from all around the country. The entire MASL front office was there. Juan Salazar just signed this week. MASL College Draft third-round pick and a Point Loma Nazarene All-Pac West selection. Showed up, had a hat trick. Then he earned the trip to Tacoma last night. Had to draw in. Sockers sat 5, scored in that match as well. So we're excited about Juan Salazar. 6'2", left footer, 24 years old. Originally from Medellin, Colombia, came to the United States when he was 16, spent 3 years at Cal State San Marcos, transferred to Point Loma, led them to an 8-1 record in conference last year and a playoff win. So Juan Salazar, impressive, not in the lineup tonight, but from what we had heard, if there was one more player out of the lineup tonight, Tony, he would have been the next one in.
Absolutely, and that's definitely what you want to see, that lineage of San Diego soccer play continuing. El Zurdo Colombiano actually caught up with him earlier. Incredibly happy to be part of the San Diego Soccer's organization, to have such an impact very early on.
Valle digs out the ball, smashed across into the middle. Now it's knocked down. It's El Código Postal, and his shot is blocked by Pee-wee. Castañeda denied. Corner kick coming up for the Savage.
A lot of sloppy clearances here from San Diego that just land the defense and Boris into some hot water, scrambling to figure out how to get that ball back into their possession and away from the Savage shooters right here, as they have an opportunity once again.
Cañas sends it out. Leal's shot blocked by a sprawling Charlie. Now the punt out. Reynoso says, "Calmate." And even though he puts it up into the high netting, he diffused any opportunity for the Sockers to counterattack.
Very much off his line, reading exactly that counterattacking chance and getting that ball cleared up and out. Exactly what you're supposed to be. You're the last defender in every single sense as a goalkeeper.
Cardenas. 5:13 left in the second quarter. Pardo sends it forward, a boom ball. Escalante easily guides that away from Morgan. Escoto trying to spin. Soccer's looking for some individual magic right now. And through the double team, the steal. Castañeda comes away with it. Castañeda. Back to Leao. Under 5 to go in the second quarter. Soccer's shut out for the first 25 minutes of this match. Sockers were shut out in the knockout game last year. And Chihuahua is approaching 60 consecutive minutes of shutting out San Diego on their home floor dating back to last year. That doesn't count for anything, but just knowledge that San Diego right now has shown next to nothing in this match. Tired legs, tired minds. Chihuahua fresh and extraordinarily motivated after having lost 4 in a row. And this is what you get in a situation like this. You get 1-0 Chihuahua, but it honestly could be, certainly it could be 2-0. Pardo made a bonus save. From a possession standpoint, am I exaggerating, or is it 75-25 minimum Chihuahua?
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely something that is at least felt here in the arena, where Chihuahua's doing such a great job of implementing the game style that they've been wanting to. It seems that whatever's on that whiteboard is happening exactly as it's being drawn out. But you mentioned it earlier, a lot of individual play by the Sockers is not becoming anything of merit. Not a lot of that typical San Diego Sockers team play that we've come to love.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of boom balls over the top because, quite frankly, I just don't think the Sockers have the legs to develop the play through the midfield right now against Chihuahua. This has been, like I said, one of the, as Childs tries to lay it off to the middle, he's going to fight to get it back, and the captain get things started. Kick save Reynoso. First save for Diego this quarter. And the foul will give it back to the Savage. Just, you know there's going to be some angry words downstairs. And the good news is San Diego's conceded 1. That's 3 fouls on Childs as well. But honestly, not just a 0 out there. It's kind of a 0 across the board for San Diego right now.
If I'm a Chihuahua Savage fan right now, I'm very happy with how the team is locking San Diego down. But we'll see how long that lasts, if San Diego's able to bring it out of the depths, and who the player is going to be to step up and change the course of this game.
Sockers give that one away. Reynoso sends it over the top. Pino able to keep that away from La Roca effectively. But again, just balls in the air, low percentage chance opportunities. Puentes brings this down. Puentes running between 2, got his hand on Serta's back. Just takes 1 for the Sockers to regain their mojo. Can they find it? There's another boom ball. Tavoy brings it down. Well bracketed by Valle. Costa, can the Sockers find a seam here in the defense? Pino bangs one off the glass. Always going wide. And that one back to San Diego. Will it go to the top of the arc? Oh, this could be the mistake that the Savage have to pay for right here. All hopped over the low wall. A little bit of an unforced error. Costa was in there, of course, fighting for the ball. See it again as Popper, off Popper's head. Popper headed it over the wall. Can the Sockers take advantage? They've given us an inch. Can the Sockers take a goal?
As Captain Craig Childs standing over this ball right now.
Childs pumps it into the wall, and then Ruggles shoots the rebound wide. And Sockers have to hustle back. Lopez sent it forward, but into the crease, where Pardo's able to bowl it out. Childs went for the hesitation play there, hoping for the wall to break. It held firm. But when it came down to Ruggles, he did have a chance there. Here comes Drew. Lays it in for Mitchell. Back to Ruggles. Over to Escoto. Juras had 2 goals, including the match winner last night in Tacoma. Mitchell dives through a tackle, shoots left-footed, kicked out by Reynoso off the back of Shane Butler, put back in. Reynoso grabs it out of the air in his crease.
Reynoso doing very well here and exactly putting that experience to good use. Still keeping that scoreless scoreboard here on the San Diego side of things.
80 seconds left in this first half. Coming up at halftime, part of our Soccer's Overtime interview with Oscar Sanchez, talking about what makes Monterrey so great. Save Pardo, denying Cañas a second. Plus we'll have MASL in 5, highlights, and the second half. All coming up at halftime. We'll have an interview with Phil Salvaggio down on the floor. Once this one wraps up, magic minute, second quarter. Soccer's reaching into their bag of magic beads and just finding sawdust and old receipts.
Even if they are able to get one back and tie this up, I'm pretty sure the halftime conversation by Coach Phil Salvaggio will be the exact same as if it was 1-0.
Charlie trying to pressure. Unplugged half for San Diego. Will they lose it by 1 or by 2? Here's the Brazilian Kleberson. He had the first assist. Gutierrez was of two minds there in the corner. Chipped out by Ruggles. 20 seconds. Down to Reynoso to probably settle out the half. Diego takes a look at the clock, says, you know what? We cool. We chill, gang. Let's just ride this out. Halftime at Pechanga Arena, San Diego. The horn will sound 2 seconds from now. Chihuahua, true domination of the San Diego Sockers, who were barely a whisper in that first half. Only one goal. That's the great news for San Diego Sockers faithful. But the faces in the crowd tell the story. Sockers fans have pretty much almost never seen this. The team shut out at home, and not just shut out, almost no saves, almost no pressure, almost no chances. Chihuahua did everything but put multiple goals up to end their 4-match losing streak, but they've got the game by the throat. Just a narrow grip at 1-0.
Yeah, you're talking about the San Diego Sockers faithful. They're having nightmares of seeing that red and black on this field, and nothing really that can salvage this half for the San Diego Sockers in any case other than the 2 great saves by Boris Pardo, but saves don't equal points at the end of the day, and you're going to need some firepower to bring it back in and have a chance to get one back from Chihuahua Savage.
Head coach Phil Salvaggio working his way down to our broadcast position on the field with Melissa May.
Coach, realistically, this was probably a game that was circled on your schedule, but since the beginning of the season, how did you prep for this matchup?
Well, you know, it's a long weekend, so, you know, it was circled on there, and it's a good game right now. It's 1-0.
And obviously, you just were in snowy Tacoma. You had an early trip this morning. Is that affecting your play right now?
No, not really. We have the energy. We're just not playing. We're just not connecting right now, so we've got to get sharper.
Are there going to be any roster changes or movements to try to jumpstart this offense?
Yeah, we might have a little changes. We got to discuss it yet. We haven't sat down yet.
All right, Coach, thank you. Craig Tony, back to you.
Thanks a lot. Phil Salvaggio looking for answers, and so is everyone in the audience. If you're a Chihuahua fan, you're nervous but excited. 1-0, Savage have the lead over the Sockers. Halftime. Next, you're watching the Major Arena Soccer League on Twitch.
Califino Tequila. Treat yourself to the fino things in life.
Here at Front Wave, our members are built different. They don't just talk of success. They roll up their sleeves and get it done. And with serious value on banking, lending, saving, planning, FrontWave is right there with you. So dream big. We got you.
Hey, Medina, where are you going?
To the game, Doc. To the game.
Well, good luck with that.
Don't wait for the pain. Call your Chiron today.
Dr. Corey's office. How can we help you?
Outstanding TVX video through. It's the bottom of the hour. Let's head south of the border and welcome in a good friend. I met him multiple years ago. It might have been a decade ago when the Sockers traveled down to Monterrey. At that time, he was doing play-by-play and color commentary for the Monterrey Flash. You've since seen him as a top interviewer of some of the Spanish-speaking players of the Major Arena Soccer League on the MASL Figuras podcast and show on Major Arena Soccer League. He joins us from Nuevo León, from Monterrey. Our friend Oscar Sanchez here, making his debut on Soccer's Overtime. Oscar, Craig, Tony, here with you. Muchas gracias, amigo, para tu tiempo.
Thank you very much for having me, Craig, Tony. Let's talk about indoor soccer.
First things first, Oscar. Tell us about MASL Figuras. Tell us about the work you've done.
Yeah, we try to have the best Hispanic players to our audience, to try to have their history, how do they came to the indoor soccer game and how they are doing now in our league. I think it's a good sport, and I think that people like it. And obviously, I like to speak with all of our best players in the league, right?
Oh, 100%. And I mean, a lot of the players that are coming in, uno de los jugadores y equipos ahorita que está a todo dar, one of the best teams right now is the Monterrey Flash. How impressive have they been this season so far?
Yeah, they have been very, very good. Honestly, I'm a little surprised, not because the Flash, but just because Chihuahua. I didn't expect Chihuahua was going to be 4-0 with Monterrey at this time, I thought there was going to be more even that the both in at this stage of the season. And Chihuahua, I think it's gonna be better in the season, but right now it's a surprise for me, these results.
Sí, también estamos sorprendidos para los marcadores. Very surprised to see 4 wins for Monterrey. But I am curious, so many players from San Diego now are playing for Flash. Iram Pollo Ruiz and Ismael Rojo, Irvin Mojica. How have those players helped put Monterrey into a winning position?
I think that the best decision that the front office of Monterrey is to hire indoor soccer players. Last season they tried to have former soccer stars, and now they find or they look for indoor soccer players. So I think that's the key of this good start. Ismael Rojo is doing good. Pollo is doing good. I think that is the main reason that Monterrey is so good at the start.
Let me ask you a question now about Chihuahua, because while Monterrey 4-0, undefeated, amazing, Chihuahua has lost 4 in a row now. They are now in a danger spot in terms of even making the playoffs. And of course, they face San Diego next. So we know many players left the Savage, moved to the Flash, guys like Uriel Zuart, like Torres Gonzalez.
Is that the situation? Are there coaching questions? What do you think is happening in Chihuahua, and are they planning to make any changes?
I think they lost some players, like Torres, like Valdovinos, like Suarez, and I think they hired some Brazilian players that they are not playing. I don't know what happened. I don't know. From futsal, they brought them to indoor and they are not playing. I don't know what happened. I think that was maybe the mistake, what they didn't calculate at this point, But I think they're going to be good. They have an incredible facility that is, smaller, and they have an advantage with the other team. They had a good team, very fast team. That's one of their main strengths, and I think they're going to be good. But they were surprised about the Flash.
I always pay attention to my friend Oscar Sanchez and all the great work you do.
Thank you guys for having me, and anytime you need me, it's a pleasure for me.
Outstanding.
Gracias.
Muchas gracias, amigo.
Shoot! He scores!
What's going on, everyone? This is the MASL in 5. I've got to get you caught up on everything that's gone down in the league over the past week in just 5 minutes. Let's go.
Foul call on that last play. Nothing coming.
Ponce with a look. Fabian with a shot. Marco Fabian! Brilliant shot. Ponce contributed to that, and Doctor
Ponce with the Walla scorer to Fabian. Ponce's first points in the MASL are a Walla scorer.
Miguel Ponce with his first MASL point. He was signed last week by Empire. Another former Mexican international on the Strikers. He will join former Mexican teammate Marco Fabian. A mixed bag last week for Empire. They lost that game to the Outlaws 10-5, but did also beat the Dallas Sidekicks 11-4. The Monterey Flash are ranked number 1 in the All Data MASL rankings for good reason, picking up 2 more big wins last weekend against their Mexican rivals, the Chihuahua Savage. Monterey now 4-0 against Chihuahua this season. Utica entered Week 7 undefeated at 6-0. That streak is no more. They fell to Milwaukee 9-7 on Thursday for their first defeat of the season. In that contest, though, the King, Frank Tayu, picking up his 500th MASL point right there. He is the first MASL player to ever hit 500 career points. Frank, 379 career goals, if you can believe it. Congratulations to the King. The Tacoma Stars hosted Utica on Saturday and handed UCFC its second loss of the season. Tacoma picking up its 3rd win in a great contest. We had keeper Chris Toth on MASL Monday, who talked about the game and his team's performance so far this year.
Utica is a very good team. They've had a good start to this season. I don't really care who you play. When you're 6-0, you're 6-0. But we also have a really good team here in Tacoma. We've played San Diego 3 times. We're battle tested. In 6 games we play them 3 times. Yeah, we may have lost 3, but at least we know we're playing the best right now. And so going forward, we know what we have.
The Baltimore Blast picking up its 2nd straight win in an awesome game against St. Louis, 8-7 in overtime. The game winner right there, an absolute banger by Mike Diesel. Beautiful. The KC Comets doing what was expected of them as they take down winless Harrisburg at home. KC improving to 7-1 on the season, and the Comets are in our big matchup for next week. They will head to Mexico. First 2 games against Monterey, but then they head to Chihuahua to take on the Savage. It's big as KC will face its first Western power of the season, and Chihuahua looking to get back on track after a slow start this season. And of course, as we said, 4 straight losses to Monterey. Players of the week, the offensive nod going to Tacoma's Nick Pereira, one of the best offensive performances by any player in a single game this year. 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists in the Stars win over Utica. Defensively, Ismael Rojo of the Monterey Flash, gets the nod. 2 great games he had against Chihuahua, 8 blocks and 3 goals, including that one right there. And William Bonahaney, maybe the best performance by a goalkeeper in a single game this season, gets him the Goalie of the Week nod. 27 saves he made in the Waves' victory over the Ambush. And your all-data power rankings: Monterey number 1, San Diego 2, KC 3, Utica 4, and Milwaukee to round out your top 5. You can bet there will be lots of changes, though, with some big games happening in Week 8 for sure. Here are some of your top plays from the past week now.
Here come the Stars with numbers. Herrera on his left, charging forward and scores!
Grable with a shot and a goal! Oh!
Scoots past his man, low shot, rebound, lovely second save, Ramos on the third one, what a stop from Rodriguez!
But they'll be all right. Oh my gosh, Tom!
Marcio!
Harris flicks it back to Francis, double ding-dong, and it goes in. Dominic Francis. Almeida toe poke, score!
And they go through the middle, roll out to Mijatovic. And that one finds the top corner.
Diesel, score! Mike Diesel from range with the left foot wins it for the Blast.
And here comes Utica on a 2-on-1 shot save, rebound, and they score. Frank Tayu, his 379th career goal and his 500th point in the Major Arena Soccer League, the first player to ever hit 500.
And of course, all throughout the MASL season, you can stay up to date on everything that's going down in the league by checking out its official social media outlets. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.
And back with you at Pechanga Arena. We are getting ready for the second half kickoff. 1-0 Chihuahua, the defending Ron Newman Cup champions, back in the place where they all but won that title, eliminating the 2-time champ Sockers. They've got the 1-0 lead. Let's take a look at the first half highlights. And this was a match dominated so far by the possession of the Chihuahua Savage. It's been possession and it's been fouls. Sockers with this set chance, and Roberto Escalante with a nice blocked shot there. Maybe the Sockers' best chance at goal really in the first 30 minutes. Another opportunity, and Ruggles couldn't swing into that ball. Finally, the lead for Chihuahua. Popa Hernandez, perfectly placed past the reach of Pardo for 1-0. Kleberson, the Brazilian futsal player, getting it back out. The second touch. Pardo just got a light touch on the ball, couldn't stop it. Great save here, denying Luis Medrano a chance for 2-0. And that's it. 10-8, Chihuahua leads in shots. Diego Reynoso, freshly signed, is 5 for 5 on saves. Boris Pardo is 3 for 4. A fresh 15 minutes are on the clock, and let's see if the Sockers found any answers in the locker room as we're ready to get back underway with Chihuahua and San Diego. Chihuahua in red and black, San Diego in blue and gold. Savage left to right in this third period, and the Sockers right to left. Already Escoto is down and rolling about. Brandon drew many fouls with his activities in the first half. He hasn't really had any offensive chances so far. It's been mostly dribbling and foul collecting.
Yeah, taking an awkward tumble there, but I think that's the most active that any Sockers player has been outside of Boris Pardo is Escoto in getting fouled and getting some plays on a stop ball, but it's been all Chihuahua Savage, something that nuestros amigos over in Chihuahua, Mexico are probably having a blast with. 1-0, it's not necessarily the score line that I think a lot of people would have predicted to go into the halftime here at Pechanga Arena, but either way, I think it's a great game that Chihuahua is playing as Pardo heads it over into the corner.
Yeah, he was victim of a ball that spun out of his zone. He was hoping to grab it. Instead, had to give possession back to Chihuahua. Can't handle the ball outside the crease, or else it's an automatic shootout the other way. Savage would love an early goal to really just drive the knife in between the ribs for the Sockers. San Diego gets the steal from Gutierrez, and they want to change the topic the other way. Christian to Charlie, taken off the line. The Savage keep a clean sheet thanks to a brilliant blocked shot. Running off Leal.
Jorge Leal doing his absolute best heroics here.
Here they go the other way. Brandon Gonzalez making Lopez. The shot saved by Pardo.
Great back and forth action to start this second half.
That's a foul on Brandon. Easy call. Drawn against Popper, or by Popper. Huge play. Gutierrez didn't want to shoot. Good play to lay it off, and Leal never gave up. That's what they teach you. Giannoni psyched about that, the new head coach of Chihuahua Savage and a defender by trade in his career.
And it's really been a lot of fixing those mistakes and people stepping up for Chihuahua Savage. The players really coming together. Reynoso might not have that built-in relationship with his backline. It's a chance here.
Felipe's shot blocked. Painfully so by Medrano. He came up wincing a bit, but he's all right. No worse for wear. Sockers stepping up the intensity a bit. And then that ball rubbed off. Pardo has to come chase it in the corner with Popper all over him. Pardon me, it was area code all over him. Castaneda. Gañez gave it away right off the bench. Gutierrez. Felipe on a long shift. Tried for the 1-2 pass, and it was easily knocked away. Reynoso uses the high corner glass to perfect effect. And then a well-weighted ball here, and the counter is back on for Chihuahua. Sockers spread out and running back the other direction. Back to Escalante. Longest San Diego has been shut out in any match in 2023-24. I'd say in the last 3 years, the longest they've been. This is just off the top of my head, but longest they've been shut out, I think, in at least 3 years.
Not a situation that the Sockers find themselves all too much in. And definitely having those talks at halftime, Phil Salvage is going to need to go ahead and give that pep talk, but I don't know how much of a pep talk is going to help those muscles recover in that short amount of time.
Yeah, that's the thing. This one attempting for the quick little header was La Roca over there. And Diaz is able to take it out. 3 minutes done in the third quarter. Savage had the ball back on their toe. Sockers had one great chance, and Jorge Leal denied an equalizer.
That's Ruggles. The most offense that we've seen from the Sockers so far. That was the most dangerous play that they've been able to showcase so far. So if they keep building on that, that's definitely going to be a chance to tie this matchup and bring up that tempo and give that boost of confidence the Sockers need.
Saved by Pardo on the long shot outside by Miguel Angel Diaz. Ruggles, little tip by Charlie. Running into open space, it's Felipe Gonzalez. 2v1 in the offensive third. Gonzalez's shot parried by Reynoso. Outside his crease, he gets it back. He has to kick it along and gets out of there. And now Chihuahua with the faster legs, able to go the other direction. Diaz jumped from behind. Juan Gonzalez out there after Felipe had a double shift. San Diego definitely feeling more intensity in these first 4 minutes. There's Pino in a wrestling match with Cleberton. He held the ball off. Big fella over there, 6'1". Nice dance by Flaco Macias to keep possession. Escalante brings it the other way. Cleberton brings it down. Gutierrez on his hip, so is Ruggles. Drew came over to take the ball away. Scoops to his left foot, slides into the zone, so calm with people all around him. That's the confidence of an all-league defender. And then Pardo's punt out, get a foul on Charlie behind the play. MASLsoccer.com, your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League, all the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. Get the latest news on the MASL and your favorite teams. Follow MASL Soccer on Facebook and Instagram, MASL Arena on Twitter. And don't forget MASL Monday, every Monday night exclusively on Twitch with Alex Bastravansky and Phil Levanko reviewing the topics and scores from the weekend prior. Jumping on the steal, Pee-wee couldn't get it away clean, digs it out, but the Savage are back. Costa now, great effort and hustle though by Pee-wee Ortega.
had a chance to probably go down to ground, but saw the opportunity in a window to try to get that counterattack going. But at least now they have possession and can start building from the back.
35 shutout minutes for Chihuahua on San Diego's home floor. In the regular season, the Sockers have never lost to Chihuahua. They went 3-0 each of the last 2 years. They'll play 3 times this year. In the playoffs, the Sockers have lost twice at Corner Sport Arena. San Diego's the only team to be 2-0 at Corner Sport Arena in the regular season. Although Monterrey's certainly made some inroads this year. Cesar Cerda dancing his way into the corner. Cerda with Childs in the middle, couldn't get him the ball. Deflected. Sockers wanted top of the arc. They're going to get a restart right in front of the party on the pitch.
Yes, you saw Cesar Cerda there against the boards, trying to get that pass into Craig Childs. As we see here, the ball bouncing out, and it looks like it will be a top of the arc restart. But Cesar Cerda couldn't get that left foot across, had to go with the resource of the right foot to try to get that pass, but now we have a dangerous set piece.
They do give him top of the arc. Defensive clearance on Chihuahua. Savage yelling at Shane Butler, complaining. They are also all in an illegal wall position, each and every one of them with their heels off the line. Now get on the line, boys. Charlie tried for the chip. Ruggles heads it down, ball knocked away. Great effort by Flacco there. Flacco called for the foul, sending Childs to ground.
And runs away from the scene of the crime, making sure that there's no blue card in his direction.
It's high fives from the bench. Flacco Macias, huge effort. And if you can take down the captain, you get a high five on the Savage bench. Giannone watching on. I am like 90% putting this match right now on the Giannone effect. New coach effect, new car smell. Savage, new season essentially for them, starting with a must win. And they are up 1-0. They're playing as well as they can to be up only 1. In fact, the game flow has a mighty outdoor feel to it right now. Sockers need an equalizer to change this back to an indoor match.
Yeah, and it starts by keeping the ball on the ground. We saw in the first half a lot of aerial attacks and pursuits by the Sockers as this one travels up and out into the net. And that's something that you get told from a young age, playing that indoor game. El fútbol rápido, deja la pelota en el suelo, en el piso, leave the ball on the ground, beat them with the calm, cool, collected passing, something that the Sockers are known for, but we really haven't been able to see, partially in credit because of the Savages' extra energy in their legs and the ability to get back into a defensive position.
I just feel like, and it's no knocking. I mean, the Sockers are out there trying to win. You know, it's so easy, and it's especially easy either online or even from the broadcast perch to just say, well, where is it? Where is it? Here's a chance. Here's a chance at goal. It's Popper. It's Popper still. It's Popper off the wall. The rebound goal. And there it is. 2-0 Chihuahua. It's 2. It feels like 7. As the Sockers now down multiple goals. Valle scores. Savage sailing to victory right now. San Diego trying to change the equation.
Number 77, Carlos Popper Hernandez, dragging Pino and getting the Wallace score assist on that. A wonderful play by the Savage attack, and definitely it feels like it's a goal that should change into a higher scoreline than it actually is. You saw Boris Pardo getting that ball all the way back into the center position, letting his teammates know to snap out of it.
Chihuahua goal scored by number 12, Arturo Valle, assisted by Pedro Castaneda. Time of the goal, 6:55. Again, for the Savage.
I thought was that Castaneda in there instead of Popper. I thought it was Popper, but maybe it was the young kid. Both end with 7. 7:45 left. We'll check that a little bit later. Yeah, fans tuning in from around the league are expressing some confusion in the chat as to how the score could even be where it is right now at 2-0. Sockers average 9 goals a match. Cravenly Cookies owners right now already turning the TV off and going to bed comfortable that they won't be giving out free cookie coupons tonight, which comes for 7 goals or more for San Diego. They're only 7 away. Well, could they get one here? It just takes one to open the bag.
And I think it has a lot to do with how well the defensive positioning has been and almost improvising every single defensive effort with Savage and making it happen. And a little bit of luck or unfortunate soccer.
Scotto, skipping shot right into Reynoso's hands. He went down looking for a card on Morgan. And we have a timeout. But it looks like Diego will just have to settle for a distribution. Here's the play again. Looking for a dangerous play on Tavoy there for trying to get his boot on the ball.
Absolutely. Reynoso doing a good job of getting his body in there, reading the trajectory of the ball in between some of the Soccer's players, looking for some contact with Tavoy.
Diego Reynoso was just called for embellishment. He received an embellishment warning for acting as if he was kicked when he wasn't.
In Spanish, we call that adding cream to your tacos.
Cañez, rebound, score! Puentes! The domination continues in San Diego as the Savage are on a roll and the Sockers have to call timeout. 3-0 Savage.
An emphatic volley off the air. Un cañonazo that gets past Boris Pardo. And let me tell you, the San Diego Sockers are on that back foot and need that time to recuperate and come back together, talk to Phil Salvaggio and figure something out.
Let's see what happens. Timeout. 3-0 Chihuahua on Twitch. Outstanding TVX video crew. A confused, disconsolate Sockers crowd. They are not used to what they're seeing. The Savage dominating San Diego. 3-0. The score dominating. It's only 3-0. The Savage have had this game on their foot the entire match. This is the least output we've seen from a Sockers team almost in the modern era. All the credit in the world to Giannone Martinez, the new head coach, to a rested and fresh Savage team with new players, a new look, a new goalkeeper, and a Sockers team that thought they could thread the needle this weekend, Tony, and get 6 points out of an interstate back-to-back. They escaped Tacoma last night with a 6-5 win, resting several regulars. Those regulars are in the lineup tonight. No impact at all.
This new look for the Chihuahua Savage is probably something that they hope would happen at the beginning of the season. But it definitely came a little bit later than they wanted to. But I'm pretty sure everybody's ecstatic about this result and how they're performing against San Diego Sockers. Not just the Savage. Anybody would love to be in this position.
The league is just having a field day right now. You can hear the popcorn popping all around. Fresh off a loss up in Ontario, the Strikers are looking up at the TV monitor and feeling some dark happiness because the team they can't beat is losing right now. And of course, the Empire Strikers can beat San Diego. They did it last year. And the Sockers will never win in the history of the franchise again if they don't score a goal. They need to score. It's really the first prerequisite to winning, turns out. Gotta score goals.
And if this is a result of having Monterey give you a 4-game, una catedral del fútbol, give them a little bit of an impetus to really restructure the way that they did, I don't think it's worth it to be able to have this result for today. But we'll see on the long term if this is something sustainable for Chihuahua even.
I mean, this is the best I've ever seen a team play the San Diego Sockers for this period of time at home. This is now 40 minutes almost shutout for Chihuahua. And really, you know, just a couple big saves by Reynoso. Takes one for San Diego to change the equation, but one more for Chihuahua is going to all but win this game in the third quarter. You can never count San Diego out, even if they're down 6-0 going to the fourth quarter. You can't count them out, but the way this game's going right now, San Diego absolutely has to score the next goal. It's gotten to the point that the crew is putting on rally caps. It's supposed to never be that way. And yet here we are. Final 5 minutes of the third quarter. And look, the Sockers look really slow tonight. And they this is not an excuse. There are no excuses. Several teams in the league went back-to-back, interstate back-to-back. Monterrey went to Texas and won, came back home, drilled Kansas City. Crushed them today. Was it as long of a fight? No, but still. So no excuses. San Diego has to, that's a foul. They have to examine themselves and say, why are we so listless and disconnected tonight? Why can't we generate any not even a little, but any offense at all?
You might even want to rewind 10 minutes ago to see a different San Diego Sockers that looked like it was going to have that turnaround coming out of the tunnel in the halftime. But right now we're seeing that regression back, looking into those individual plays. Gabriel Costa unable to go through 3 players. That's not going to be a recipe for success at any given point here against a team that really is playing incredibly well. They know where they're at, and here comes another chance for Chihuahua.
To the right foot, to the left foot, to the goal! The futsal star puts his stamp on the MASL as Cleverson continues one of the best performances we've ever seen in this league. The Chihuahua Savage well on their way to ending San Diego's 25-match regular season home win streak.
O brasileiro Cleverson Rodriguez doing some Brazilian samba, stepping it over, setting himself up for the left foot. Almost as good as that haircut of his right now, getting his first goal here in the league, and could potentially have been an X factor. No one's really seen him, but here's the chance for the Sockers. Great save by Reynoso, one hand on the knees, keeping it ceros for San Diego.
Reynoso is a differentiator in this league. He's someone who changes the championship equation as Escoto is denied. Just want to note that Chihuahua is undefeated against every team not named Monterrey this year. They faced Texas and beat them by 8. It's Dallas, Empire, smoked them. And now, playing maybe the most complete match I've ever seen an opponent play against the San Diego Sockers in 15 years of doing this. 42 shutout minutes of the Sockers on their home floor. And that right there was Reynoso's first true massive chance that he had to stop.
And it's one of those nights, too, where usually those go in for the Sockers, but some fortuitous setting up and positioning by Reynoso. Reflexes are still there. On the knees, doing very well.
Escoto cuts back to his right foot, drags out to the middle, tried for the right-footed shot. He missed, and then he pinballed down, but there was no contact. He just spun around like a top. Pino's back. Savage change. Escoto stays out. Sockers. Wow. Not a lot going on.
A lot of jaws on the floor, in the crowd, in the audience. How could this have happened? And again, this was a match that soccer fans were circling. The players were circling.
Well, that's what we heard. Here's the 2v1 for 5-0. Here it comes. On the hustle. Castañeda rips it off the Dana on Mission baseline.
And it just seems like a matter of time before Chihuahua Savage decides to just go ahead and score that 5th one. off the counterattack, utilizing that speed. That shot off the mark. Otherwise, we'd be talking about another 5-goal and an even more difficult task for the San Diego Sockers to even consider coming back from.
Cerda. You know, it's funny. I see some, and I'm about to close the chat. I really am. But I see some arrogant fans from the Midwest disparaging the Professional Arena Soccer League. I might remind those ignorant fans that the Mexican players you see on the floor, the players you see in Monterrey and Chihuahua, played in the PASL, not the MISL. They played in the PASL.
That's why it's great to have you as a historic resource on this, Craig.
No, there's a lot of fans who just, you know. The Sockers win a lot, a great amount. We can never complain about anything here in San Diego. If you and I had to sit and announce a 4-20 season, we would have to say to ourselves at the end of that year, you know what, we had that coming. You know,
yeah.
Like eventually, like you have it coming, right? Here's Morgan looking down. But anytime the Sockers show a crack, people love to pile on. And I get it. That's what you get for being on top. It's actually fun. It's fun.
That's the thing. Sockers have never really shown any sort of winning fatigue at all. There is always that mentality of wanting to be the best and playing at the best. Their hardest game so far that the players have taken was a victory earlier against Dallas.
Magic minute of the third quarter, but again, the Magic Beans bag has been empty all night. Sockers would love one just to change the tempo. No one in the audience has anything to cheer about tonight. 25 seconds. Costa rips a shot and it's blocked. And then Pino wings it high again. And this is just a dominant performance by the Chihuahua Savage. This is as good as it gets, and the Sockers really have no one to look at but themselves for how the night has gone.
Now it'll be interesting if there's a narrative that gets constructed as far as this is going to be the recipe for success against the Sockers. You got to play them this way or that way, or just get a brand new coach every time you face them. You get that extra boost of energy.
Reynoso is going to put Chihuahua right back in the championship conversation. Starting Monday on MASL Monday. Pretty sure that'll be a topic with Phil Levanko and our man Alex Bastiavansky, and they'll ask, is this the best team in the league? And the answer is no, it's Monterrey. Monterrey is the best team in this league, and they traveled, they played yesterday. Weaker opponent, sure, but they came home to face the Eastern Power Kansas City, and I mean, they drilled the Comets today. 8-1 at the half. Utter domination. Neto had to take a bench at some point. Quarter's over. And the Sockers are just one frame away from being shut out at home for only the second time in modern franchise history. We'll see if they have an answer after this. Fourth quarter from Pechanga Arena. It's 4-0 Chihuahua on Twitch.
Yeah, thanks, for sure, I'll be there. Hey, wait, hold on. I'm running by the field right now. You're never gonna guess. Dude, Medina's here. I think he's training for a comeback to the Sockers.
What are you talking about? Medina? He retired 2 years ago. He's too old, bro.
Oh, dude. You're right, bro. He's too old. Okay, so that barbecue, yeah.
Don't wait for the main. Call your Cairo today.
Dr. Corey's office, how can we help you?
Oh, I got this. Let's get him in.
Okay, sounds good, Mr. Medina. We'll see you shortly.
Here at Front Wave, our members are built different. They don't just talk of success. They roll up their sleeves and get it done. And with serious value on banking, lending, saving, planning, Front Wave is right there with you. So dream big. We got you.
Welcome back to San Diego. Wow. Body language check. 0 of 10, many notes. 4-0 Chihuahua after 45 minutes. The Savage have dominated this match in a way we have rarely ever seen. Sockers fans, get ready for one of the best nights of the season. It's the annual Alumni Night on Saturday, January 27th, when the Sockers host the St. Louis Ambush for a 7:05 p.m. kickoff. We'll welcome back all the greats from the past who helped make this the Grand Old Arena. One final chance for them to run on the Midway. Plus, it's a Bud Light Saturday night. That means $3 Bud Lights for everyone 21 and over. Get your tickets for Alumni Night. Go to sdsockers.com or call 866-799-GOAL. Big-time credit to Janoni Martinez. First-time head coach. First match for Chihuahua, and he has plugged this Savage side in, Tony. Wasn't even out for warm-ups. We were tripping. We were like looking at the team going, Janoni's here, right? Where? Everardo Sanchez ran the whole warm-up. So, did he not show up for his first game as head coach? Could it possibly be? Then we got the lineup card and it said Janoni on it. Okay, well, is he? But we did. There he is. There he is.
And that's the impact, definitely, that can be had by having that new blood, and not always has to happen within the team. It can happen on the tactical side of things where you have the pieces and it's a different vision of how you want to execute. And clearly right now, the Sockers have not answered the bell. And I mean, you're talking about that body language. You can see Chihuahua huddling and still looking to end this matchup with a couple more opportunities and chances to show exactly where they're at here, the new iteration of the Chihuahua Savage. And everybody wants to do it against the San Diego Sockers.
And the Sockers begin the fourth quarter in 6 attackers. Means there's an open net for Chihuahua to shoot at. Morgan trying to get it to Escoto in the top. And here's the chance for Puentes for 5-0. It's all wide to the left. Charlie Gonzalez is out there in the orange 6 attacker shirt. That one's out of play. A desperation opportunity.
Tiempo para el portero ambulante, the ambulating goalkeeper. Some rare sights here at home for the Sockers, especially to kick off the fourth quarter.
Costa. At this point, it's just a matter of pride for San Diego. Can they score a goal? We'll talk about the match if they score a goal. Costa, saved by Reynoso, his 9th save of the night. It's all the credit in the world. One of the great performances by the Savage. They've got 14 minutes left. I'm sure Savage fans still nervous. Serta missed by 6 feet. Escoto. Shot blocked. Savage consistently with 5 players in the penalty area when the Sockers have the ball. San Diego needs to exploit the 6v5 they've created with 6 attackers. They begin the fourth quarter in this formation. Serta. Giles has been sitting on 399 points for a while. One-handed save, Reynoso!
Great stop by Reynoso there. That ball didn't have a lot of power, but it was localized entirely into the net until he decided to intervene there. Great stop by Reynoso, having a great first performance here for the Chihuahua Savage.
Costa and Charlie. Bad pass by Serta out of the corner.
This game has had a consistent miscues by the Sockers just like that, and that's enough, that margin of error.
Even right there, that pass did not allow Charlie to settle the ball and keep it moving. Here's a chance. Rims the right post. Puentes for 5-0. Well wide. Just a bit outside. There's the ball. There's the replay. That close. That close. Pardo comes out to throw it. It's tough to stay the ambulating goalkeeper too, by the way. Usually you take shifts in this sport. So we'll see if the Sockers have a second sixth attacker that they'd like to alternate Charlie with if they're going to play the whole quarter. 6 attackers. Well, obviously not right now. Pardo's in the match. Serta held up along the far wall and foul called. The whistles, which came fast and furious in the first and second quarters, have dwindled here in the second half, but it's because the game flow has changed. It's not a 0 or 1 goal match. It's a comfortable Chihuahua lead.
And now this is going to be a result that's going to be indicative of the rest of the season for the Sockers? I don't think so, but it is still something to take into consideration.
Ruggles save. Well, I would remind fans, the Sockers started last year 10-0. They went to Ontario and they lost 10-4 to Empire. There's a steal by Costa. Almost stolen back. Back to Costa's foot. Little fancy footwork. Stutter stepping. And then his shot blocked by Castaneda. Couldn't get it off of his own foot. Did some fancy stuff in the phone booth, though. Pardo remains out there right now. Sockers can't sixth attack. They don't have the ball. Not right now. Costa.
Something remarkable would have to happen to see the Sockers try to tie this game up with just over 11 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. But I think that's a different discussion now where we're at this point.
Well defended by Leal, who kicked away a potential goal for San Diego that could have tied the match. As we've seen so many times with the Sockers, their frustration grows and grows as they don't score. But you get one, and it usually reinvigorates the memory of success. I still firmly believe if Sockers actually scored a goal, it would change the dynamic of this match. They could score a second quickly, put nervous thoughts into the visitors, hopeful thoughts into the home crowd of over 1,600 tonight. Another little fun fact for our buddies in the chat. The Sockers are the only team in professional sports, any league, anywhere, that announces tickets in instead of tickets out. They announce the true turnstile count for every one of their matches. Every other team you see in the MASL announces tickets distributed and announces that as attendance. And that's not to diss any of those teams. That's what the Padres do. That's what the Chargers do. That's what the Lakers do. That's what LAFC does. Borussia Dortmund, any team in the world except ours. We only announce tickets in and then suffer the slings and arrows of people who say, why don't you draw more? Which is fun. It's a fun little self-inflicted thing that we do.
It's a true reflection of those who are here and the faithful, as they are the ones that are bringing the energy here to Pechanga Arena here in the fourth quarter, trying to muster up some sort of courage for the Sockers to draw from. El gol de la honra, the goal of honor in Spanish.
All the honor is with the Savage right now. An honorable effort and an absolutely earned result. I mean, honestly, Savage could be up 7, 8 at this point. But we saw it coming. I mean, the picture that our TVX crew got of the bench out of third quarter told the story. You could see the ghost floating into the rafters. It was gone. And it could come back down, but right now I think the final question here is, what is the final score? And can the Sockers score a goal? They've been shut out once at home. It was by Chris Toth. Reynoso will look to be the second in modern history to shut out San Diego at home.
You can see those heavy legs by Pina going back and tracking back a simple ball, but the exhaustion is there as we're going to go ahead and see Pardo come off for a chance of a sixth attacker.
Oh, boy. Almost became an instant goal for Chihuahua. This is, by game theory, absolutely the right decision. It was the right decision at 15 minutes. 7 minutes have gone by. No scoring in this quarter. I think I got that wrong. Chris Toth has a shutout for San Diego at home. Here's Serta down to Childs. I was at the game they got shut out, and I'm trying to remember. It was 2015. I'll look it up if I have to. I hope I don't have to. Popper. If anyone was going to score a goal from 3/4 field, it would be the man who says Corey Keats has nothing on me when it comes to coming to town and getting big goals. Carlos Popper Hernandez.
One of those players that remembers and obviously had
Headed
that.
to the middle. Oh, Morgan twice just misses.
And that ball is just not wanting to cross the line. It's going to be one of those days. It has been one of those days as things get a little spicy down in el Pasto Artificial.
Let's take a look at the scoreboard from week 8 while we have a chance. Some finals today. Texas over Dallas. Well, let's start with Friday. There you go. UCFC came from behind, beat Kansas City in overtime, 7-6. Monterrey over Texas yesterday, 6-5. Monterrey beating Kansas City today, 12-5. Truly dominant performance by the Flash, #1 in the power rankings for a big reason. Other scores today: Tacoma over Empire, 7-5. Texas beat Dallas, 5-2. Other scores from Friday: Milwaukee over St. Louis, 5-2. Baltimore beat Harrisburg 5-3. Milwaukee over Dallas 10-7. UCFC at St. Louis pulled a 7-3 win. Timeout. Last one of the night. Diego Reynoso looking for a shutout in the MASL. He's minutes away on Twitch.
Here at Front Wave, our members are built different. They don't just talk of success. They roll up their sleeves and get it done. And with serious value on banking, lending, saving, planning, Front Wave is right there with you. So dream big. We got you.
Califino Tequila. Treat yourself to the fino things in life.
It's Chihuahua's night. 4-0 Savage leading the San Diego Sockers. Busy schedule for San Diego. They played last night in Tacoma. They played Thursday night against Empire. They'll play Empire again Wednesday night up at Toyota Arena in Ontario. There's Janoni Martinez looking to go undefeated as MASL head coach. 1-0.
Yeah, barking at his team as if they weren't winning 4-0 at this point of the matchup, but, you know, all credit to him. Mark of the champion. And
picture tells a story, don't it? As they sang back in the day. One side, you just feel the energy crackling off of the Savage, the passion, the intensity, the true focus. Boy, it's just been the opposite for San Diego today. This is not a personal attack on any player whatsoever. This is a team that showed up from the airport, and I think, you know, just in baggage claim is where their boots are today. And this is going to be one they're going to have to wash off, dust themselves off, and go get a result Wednesday at Empire, because they're going to lose their grip on the MASL Shield tonight, which they only had a 1-point grip on over Monterrey to begin with. So, should be interesting.
Definitely Mexico as a whole is going to be looking at this matchup and circling it, making sure that they keep that one over the Sockers. And it's, you see it in world football, regardless of sport. Whenever somebody takes down a Power 3, Power 2 team, whether it's by 1.1 goal, however it may be, at the end of the day, the win column is the win column. And Chihuahua Savage definitely deserve this matchup, and I don't know if it's a matter of licking the wounds for the Sockers, but either way, this is something that they're going to hopefully...
Intensity by Giannoni.
Look at that.
Look at the coaching being done. Just look at all the effort being poured out by the Chihuahua Savage bench today. Savage, this is a season-saving win for Chihuahua. Their next 5 matches, Friday they host Kansas City. Sunday they go to Monterey again. If they had lost tonight, could have been looking at 2-6, 2-7, and then you're looking up at teams like Empire maybe and really wondering. After that, they'll host Dallas on the 26th. They'll go to Texas February 3rd, and then they'll host San Diego February 9th. That could be for first place in the division. San Diego needs to turn things around. Soccer's next 5, Wednesday at Empire. Then they'll have a little break. I think the Sockers need a break right now. January 27th, they'll host St. Louis. They'll have to go and fly to Tacoma that night or the next morning for a January 28th match at Tacoma. That'll be their 3rd interstate back-to-back. And then their Texas two-step will start February 1st at Texas, February 3rd at Dallas. 7 minutes left for San Diego to try and notch a goal in this one.
And that Chihuahua-Monterey game now suddenly turns a little bit more interesting. A litmus test for the new and improved Chihuahua.
Giles parried. Morgan shanks that one. Reynoso still gets a foot on it. Just brilliant work by Diego. When we were down in the field, we're taping the Open. We get the rooming list for the team. We get the roster. We write it out. And then we look down and go, well, that's Diego. I know Diego. Why is he here? Giles. The 400th point would feel slightly hollow right now, but any goal would be delightful from a San Diego perspective. Costa. Serta. Charlie. There's Reynoso. He did it again.
Yeah, Charlie's had a couple of those shots, and Reynoso's been able to answer every single time.
We'll look for 5-0 now. Popper down to La Roca. Make it, Gallegos in the corner. Gets double teamed. Foul on Gallegos.
At this point in the match, you also want to make sure that everybody has cool heads and that they prevail in every sense. Don't want to give any silly opportunities for anything more than a common foul.
You know, any Sockers loss is a time to celebrate their success. This Sockers team has won their last 25 regular season matches at home. This will be their first regulation loss at home since 2019. They lost in overtime to Ontario. That was their last home loss. It was January of 2022. Shot off the crossbar by Serta. This result's decided.
It was a whole different world last time we saw the Sockers give up a home loss. But once again, a testament to what we've been seeing here on the Chihuahua Savage side of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of negativity in the chat. There's negativity in every online social media platform wherever you go. It's one of the breeding grounds of discontent for modern culture and society. It's a place that's created the coarseness that we all have to live with now. Great block shot by Guerrero Pino. We're just a much coarser, much more impolite society than we ever were. People are forced to recognize any opinion thanks to these platforms. But I think tonight is 100% about, thank you so much, 100% about, as a save off the line by Pino, it's about Chihuahua. This is about Chihuahua. The Sockers ran into a freight train tonight named Chihuahua Savage, a team that put their season on the line tonight. And the Sockers showed up from the airport at 1 o'clock today. And that's not a disparagement. It's just, it's a different energy level. And Yeah, appropriately, that's a miss. That's a score every other match the Sockers have ever played at home.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's La pelota nomás no quiere. And again, two different teams who are looking for two different outcomes and overall results from this one matchup. And it looks like Chihuahua got exactly what they needed. Whereas San Diego, you know what? If you don't get the 6 points out of this weekend, it's not necessarily the end of anything, but it's still a blemish where you wouldn't normally want to have it. And he's going to foul in transition here.
All right, John Green. Does it say 88? Is he 87? I can't read his handwriting. I think it says 80. He says the last time the Sockers were shut out at home was Dallas 3-0, December 12th, 1987 in the MISL. I thought they got shut out one time in 2015-16. I'll have to go look that up when I write the gamer for this, which is a few minutes from now. What we know is that Chihuahua is improving to 3-4 on the year. The Sockers are dropping to 6-1. There goes Pardo. Charlie's going to run back out for another sixth attacker attempt as San Diego simply tries to avoid the shutout. That's all it's down to. Costa. Felipe. Off the wall, past Morgan. The long try by Lopez is going to sail wide. Serta heads it. Morgan's going to chase it down in front of the Savage bench. He's going to keep the run going. And it's back to Reynoso with 3:07 left to go. So according to John, this will be the first time the Sockers have been shut out since being brought back to life in 2009. First shutout in 15 years. Like I said, I'll have to double check that. Nonetheless.
Can we talk about a different world, right? Talk about 2019 in the 80s, man. That's something, and once again, we see those short passes that are usually concrete, and you can't really construct any sort of attacking play if those don't go in.
What do you know? The shutout is over. Tavoy Morgan has scored from Charlie for 4-1.
And this arena explodes because that's exactly what they've been wanting all night, is a goal from San Diego. And you know what? If it comes at this point, that's where we're at with the match today. Tavoy Morgan collecting the ball from the back of the net of Reynoso. 2:42, Craig. I don't know. And then fútbol rápido, todo puede pasar. Anything can happen in indoor soccer. As a timeout is called for Chihuahua. They're going to go ahead and maybe need to reconsider their whole game plan now.
Did you see how mad Reynoso was? Reynoso was furious. It's brutal. You can't blame him, though. Just trying to track through to see if I could find that shutout. Well, you know what? As Kanye West once said famously, I guess we'll never know.
Just the juxtaposition of commentary to references in this last quarter is something that I'm going to go ahead and keep in my heart forever, because Greg, you have been an absolute poet taking us through this soccer's results. You got some commentary on the status of world culture through the eyes and the guides of internet activity, and
it's such a game changer in the world. It's such a game changer in the world. I believe in a civil society. I think it's great to, please and thank you, smile when you see a stranger, when you're walking on the street.
Absolute values and virtues that the celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King would have reflected.
We're getting celebrated tomorrow. Shout out.
Dr. King having a statue in Mexico in TJ. I don't know if you knew that. There's also one of Lincoln.
Really?
Yeah, in Tijuana. We have a...
Good on you, TJ.
Yeah.
Like, where's ours?
Great job, Chihuahua. And hey, San Diego, thank you for not getting shut out. On behalf of Sockers fans worldwide, that would have really, really stung. Somehow 4-1 feels slightly better. Still 2.5 minutes to... I mean, come on, we're not going to do this, are we? I'm not going to let hope enter my heart until I have to at this point. It's a defense and safety mechanism. Over to Flacco. Flacco's wide open. Ruggles guarded him, and he said, I'll just bang it off the wall. It's all good.
Chihuahua's defensive positioning with 3 players at the halfway line.
Impeccable. Yeah, free safeties just lined up 20 yards deep. Red Rover, let Sockers come over is what's happening right now. Start to finish, dominant performance, intense performance. And again, it's not a knock on San Diego. It is a factual statement. One team wanted this match so much more than the other did. The Sockers were playing their 7th match of the year. Chihuahua was playing the match of their season. And the effort, the intensity, the connectivity, the togetherness, it's been all red and black. Flacco looking for the cherry on top. Savage don't have to do anything. And a listless crowd starts to head to the exits here at Pechanga Arena, San Diego. Sockers fans, you just have to bend the knee to Giannoni tonight. It's Giannoni Martinez's night. We're just here to witness the rebirth of the Chihuahua Savage, a franchise that lost 4 in a row, changed everything, and now are right back in the conversation in the West and in the MASL. The final minute. Costa. And even that pass. Just like that shot. Just off target. You know, all these nights in the past when I used to play poker, Tony, there'd be these certain nights you'd show up at the casino and you'd kind of feel good, just normal, you feel good, get your buy-in, put your stack down, and then like the first 60 hands you're dealt are like 8-2, 7-2, king 1, king, that's ace king, king deuce, you know, queen 4, and then you get an ace king, and you're like, raise, flop comes 7-6 deuce, and somebody bets into you, 5-1, Diaz, and that's tonight. The Sockers never caught a flop. When they had hands, they got 3-bet and had to let them go. This is the Savages' night. This is one of the best wins I have ever seen in the city of San Diego. An opponent's performance, absolutely impeccable. Here's Diaz for 5-1. Just putting Pardo down to the ground. And this one will mercifully end a few seconds from now. Doesn't get better than this for an opposing team. For the Sockers, it gets so much better than this. Sockers are going to have to reevaluate everything after tonight. That's a card. That's a card. Absolutely. Absolutely, that's a card.
And it's these games that we're talking about here at the end of the match, of frustration boiling over, tired legs. A team that eliminated you last season that now comes in with a supposed weaker side, new coach, new players, and they do a 5-1 currently with 17 seconds to go. It's honestly just a reflection of the times and how, honestly, it's just uncharted territory for some of these Sockers players to be in this position.
Yeah.
They might not know how to react, and they just react naturally and revert to street tactics a veces, como en la calle. Así pasa.
Soccer's going to wake up tomorrow and wonder what happened. A very unnecessary blue, like you said, just emotions. It is what it is. If the Savage want to pump in a 6th here, you know, it would be spicy, but card with 17 seconds is spicy too. Did the Sockers just challenge this?
I believe that they did. Pañuelo rojo.
Ruling of a potential blue card penalty against Charlie Gonzalez. That play is now under video review.
Hey, we're psyched to be here representing the Major Arena Soccer League. And we just want to remind you, MASLsoccer.com is your home for everything Major Arena Soccer League, all the latest news, leaderboards, highlights, and more. See a call that you disagree with? Well, you might see it. You won't see this one. MASL's most controversial show is under review. Catch it every Friday on Twitch with Phil Levanco and Director of Officials Ryan Sigich. I mean, that's a foul. And
or maybe for that swipe over on Morgan's face.
Well, they've put a penalty on the board for Diaz. So, I mean, that would be the penalty on Diaz. They're saying that this is not a foul on Charlie, and I mean, it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I think it's a situation of just because you have the challenge doesn't mean you have to use it, but I guess they're choosing to use it here.
I mean, this is all very unfortunate. Sockers fans, some news. As we mentioned last week, the Sockers match against Texas was postponed because a water main broke underneath Pechanga Arena. San Diego wiped out a week's worth of events. That match is going to be rescheduled. It hasn't been officially announced by the league yet, but I'm here to tell you it's going to be rescheduled to February 13th. It's going to be February 13th, Tuesday, February 13th. TVX crew can put that in their calendars. Tuesday, February 13th. That's because Texas comes back February 15th for San Diego Sports Night, Thursday, February 15th. So that's their only other trip out to Cali. So instead of trying to get them a whole new second flight or third flight out to California, it's going to be one flight a couple days earlier. Of course the call stands. That was
no question.
I mean, on the poker game, we talked about poker game. Chip in a chair is where Phil Salvaggio was with 17 seconds down 4. So at that point, there's no functional utility in holding your challenge. You might as well try. I mean,
I'm all in, he said.
I'm all in. Tossing his $1 chip in the pot. I'm all in. And Shane Butler turned around and just picked that up and put it in his pocket, that dollar. He said, thanks for the tip. Appreciate you, bro. So it'll be 4v4, and in all likelihood, the Savage is just going to play the ball back, and that'll be it.
Yeah, you even see Boris Pardo without gloves on. He already took those off. He's going to go ahead and head over to the direction of his net.
Sockers in Texas, February 15th, special 7:35 p.m. weeknight kickoff. Free parking that night, one night only. Free parking at Pechanga Arena. It's also another $3 Bud Light night. And our other local pro teams are going to be invited to show out on the concourse, and the Sockers will be debuting their brand new gas lamp kits, which we will reveal in 2 weeks on Sockers Overtime. So looking forward to that. That's it. Chihuahua wins it 5-1. The handshakes are exchanged. This one was never really a contest. The Savage had it even at 0-0. The Savage had this all the way. Janoni Martinez, victorious in his first match as head coach of the Chihuahua Savage. I see great things in the future of the Chihuahua Savage this year, Tony. Great things. I think they're going to be right there in the conference final again, and it's up to San Diego to find their way there as well.
They had an opportunity to right the ship, Chihuahua did, and it seems like they took that first step tonight in doing what a lot of people may think is almost impossible to do, is take it to the Sockers at home here in San Diego in a regular season match, and they did just that, coming in with 5-1 goals, and even that 5-1, maybe a generous scoreline at the end here. However, it's going to be interesting to see how the Sockers bounce back and if there's any positives to really take out of this. I know we'll talk about this on Sockers Overtime, Tuesday at 5 p.m. on Twitch, TV.tv/San Diego Sockers. But overall, felicidades, Chihuahua Savage, the heart of a champion.
Yeah, that's right, Melissa. No interview tonight. 5-1, our final score. Let's get to our superlatives for this one and wrap it up as the Sockers fall 5-1 to the Chihuahua Savage. Undefeated no more. Here is your save of the game, no question about it. Jorge Leal flying back. This would have made it 1-1. Theoretically changed absolutely everything. Leal flying back. Another great save. Reynoso one-handed outside on Charlie Gonzalez, denying the attempt. Those are your Kaiser Permanente saves of the match. Kaiser Permanente, live well and thrive. Giannone getting handshakes, getting hugs, getting pictures taken. Meanwhile, we'll move to our other superlative, which is your Front Wave Credit Union goal of the match. This has got to be the one. Out of the air, Flacco, the header, one time, left-footed for La Roca. Beautiful piece of indoor brilliance right there by the Savage, who are right back in the thick of it now. They serve notice to the entire Major Arena Soccer League tonight. Don't count out the champs. Never doubt the heart of a champion. This team is going to be fighting for the championship once again, and they just let the Sockers know in no uncertain terms that there is no level higher than them. Sockers can't rely on their talent, their roster, their pedigree, or anything else. They got to come completely different if they ever want to beat Chihuahua this year.
And they know that. Chihuahua knows that. They know that they are the team to beat. And they know that at this point, they are the A side whenever it comes to San Diego matching up with them, because guess what? At Corner Sport Arena, it's not an easy task. They are in their elements. Chihuahua Savage is able to be exactly who they train to be every single day. And all hats off. Kudos para Chihuahua Savage. This time around, como dice Juan Gabriel, Noah. Oh, man. Pero San Diego has an opportunity to turn it around themselves and really showcase what a bounce back means for this franchise.
An outstanding night for the Chihuahua Savage and for the San Diego Sockers. A night to reflect upon as San Diego's perfection at home, the fortress they created at Pechanga Arena. I was told by many players this year, we don't intend on losing ever at home this year. Well, that intent, again, might have been left in the baggage claim somewhere along the way. And every time you bring up something like travel, you know, chats, excuse, ner, from people who feel their negative energy coursing through their vibrating blood vessels as they feverishly tack at the keyboard or thumb their way across the phone. But just put yourself in the shoes of a team. And here's a little nugget that no one knows, but the Sockers were supposed to leave Friday for Tacoma at 12 p.m. Their flight left at 9 p.m. Sat around Lindbergh Field for 8.5 hours, got into Tacoma past midnight, settled in, immediately had to play that game that night, got back to their hotel last night around 11, 12 p.m., had dinner at midnight, were up at 4:30 to be in the lobby to get to SeaTac for a 9 a.m. flight that left at 9:40. And they basically shoveled their way into the arena today at 2 o'clock. And there it is. Yeah,
those numbers add up, and that equation has left it at 5-1 victory for Chihuahua. And just bringing that context over and really putting it on the table. And no surprises here as far as this potentially happening, because this was always
it's just a shock it doesn't happen more often.
Exactly.
To be very true. It's again a testament to the quality of the Sockers that they get through these situations so often that we don't just go, oh, well, that's a schedule loss on Sunday, and like show up expecting to lose. Exactly. Essentially, the Sockers show up expecting to win every day, but this wasn't a schedule loss. But Chihuahua, which got to fly in Friday, relax, be here Saturday, they brought their all to this match. Again, no diminution. Okay, I'll take the L as well. No diminishing.
There you go.
The effort of the Chihuahua Savage tonight. Diminishing my effort, word by word. Let's just lock it up and cut our losses. Limp to the cashier's cage with the quarter of the stack that we brought to this poker game. Connected on one pot all night, and it was when we bet with 4-5. 5-1, Chihuahua wins this one. Special thanks to our TVX video crew. They're winners every night. No doubt about it. Ted Bendrick, our executive producer. The Slizzer, Randall Sliz, our technical director. Joseph Getke, our assistant director. Daniel Starozik, right? Close. Starozik. Our production assistant, Marilyn Muro, our director, Robert, Michael, and Kevin on the cameras, Mark Hattersley, our audio engineer. Special thanks to Melissa May down on the floor. For Tony Sanchez, I'm Craig Elston. Reminding you once again, Chihuahua hands San Diego their first loss of the year in emphatic fashion, 5-1. Sockers will be in Empire Wednesday night, taking on the Strikers. We'll see you back here Saturday the 27th against St. Louis for Alumni Night. Until then, so long from San Diego.